Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. Firstly, a threat from a Fano commander to Ethiopian PM Abiy. A deadline has been issued by this Fano commander. How practical is this threat? Can this threat be implemented? Secondly, South Gondar new mobilization of military is being reported there. South Gondar has been a stronghold of Fano fighters. Thirdly, a meeting of the TPLF, Tigray interim government, Tigray military commanders started weeks ago. What is the latest? A statement came from a wing of the TPLF yesterday, it seems, about this meeting. This wing is not known to me, and the wing, which seems to be part of TPLF, is criticizing the central committee of the TPLF about this meeting. It seems meeting is still ongoing. Firstly, viewers, Fano commander was interviewed last night and he threatened the Ethiopian Prime Minister. He made some claims. He gave a deadline to the government. By the way, government has also extended deadline for surrendering to Fano fighters. Around 8 days ago, government issued a 7-day deadline telling Fano fighters to surrender and to report at demobilization camps. Last night, Amhara regional government extended the deadline, saying that people were requesting an extension and that large number of Fano fighters were surrendering. So for 7 days now, government deadline has been extended. The Fano commander issued an ultimatum to last night. His name is Zamina Kasi, Fano commander from Gajam, who was arrested last year or released this year. And Gajam is the strongholds of Fano fighters. East Gajam, West Gajam, both are totally destabilized. Skandar Naga's APF and Zamina Kasi's Fano groups are two major groups in Gajam. Masri Shah's Gajam Fano group. Masri Shah is nowhere to be seen. His Fano fighters have joined other groups reportedly. Zamina Kasi has given a deadline, an ultimatum to Ethiopian government through an interview last night. 9th of January is the deadline issued by Zamina Kasi. He is telling the Prime Minister of Ethiopia to step down till the 9th of January. And he claimed last night, the commander claimed that government forces had already been defeated. Only funeral of the government was remaining. Otherwise, everything has been done and government has been completely defeated in the fight against a Fano of fighters. He said that PM Abiy should surrender to Fano fighters and PM Abiy will be held accountable for the crimes he committed. A question was asked about negotiations too. Is there any likelihood of negotiation between Fano groups and the Ethiopian government? He said no negotiations. Used words like monster for Ethiopian Prime Minister. Now, how practical is this threat? What will Fano do after 9th of January? Well, I see Zamina Kasi's threat as just an empty threat. Practically on the ground, Fano groups are under serious pressure. They are suffering losses because of a new air campaign. Maybe things will change in coming days. They're hoping things will change, by the way. They hope that maybe Ethiopian Air Force will be exhausted, that Ethiopian Air Force will run out of ammunition, that maybe they can defend from this massive air campaign through keeping a low profile for some time. But on the ground, it's not that Fano is in a position to implement its threat. Let's see what happens after the 9th of January. It seems that it's like a counter deadline issued by Fano. Government issued deadline to Fano fighters to surrender. And now Fano is issuing a counter deadline. Otherwise, Fano groups are not in a position to force the Prime Minister of Ethiopia to step down. It's not possible so far for Fano groups. They are fighting for survival. They are under serious pressure in the Amhara region, it seems. Secondly, viewers, South Gondar zone of the Amhara region which has been a stronghold of Fano fighters, Varata, Debre Alam Saga, Gondar to Bahirda Road. Almost entire South Gondar is destabilized. Fano groups have the capability to carry out attacks here. They've carried out several attacks near Debre near Alim Saga forest too. Several convoys of military have been ambushed. Some convoys of Prosperity Party members have been ambushed too. The two roads remain closed mostly. Gondar to Bahirda, Debre to Valdia. Both roads remain largely closed, I would say. Now, military has decided, it seems, to beef up its presence in South Gondar, and within the last 48 hours, movement of large columns of military has been seen into South Gondar. The military is mainly relying on air campaign these days. Strikes are being conducted. The military is avoiding direct confrontation with Fano fighters. But in South Gondar, we could see some limited ground operations too, because since the area is entirely under Fano control, like Gujam, that is why ground operations are needed in South Gondar, maybe from government's point of view. That is why new deployments are being made to this important region, important zone of the Amhara region. But about North Gondar, in North Gondar, I think Fano is not as strong as it is in South Gondar. That is why government's main focus is on South Gondar, it seems. But again, I would say that government is relying on air campaign. It is trying to avoid direct confrontation with Fano fighters. Direct confrontation has not produced results for government. Government has been launching ground offensives on Fano since July this year, but no big change happened on the ground. Rather, Fano groups got stronger, bigger, more influential, got more recruits. Now things are changing. When government is using its air force, drones, Fano groups are revisiting their plans. They are trying to keep their capabilities intact by decreasing their engagement with Ethiopian National Defense Force in some cases. Thirdly, viewers, Tigray, where weeks ago a meeting kicked off between the TPLF and Tigray interim government. Tigray military commanders are part of the meeting too. Sadkan was there too. Where are they? From government, Gatacho was participating. Alem, Brevahid, Munjurino, Debratzian, all were there. Discussion started. And we heard about some hot words exchanged at the discussion. We heard about strong criticism of General Megbe. But we have been waiting for the outcome of this meeting. The meeting was summoned after Ethiopian federal government proposed a solution, four-state solution to the deadlock over disputed territories of Meravolkai, Segde, Ralama, Takoram. Ethiopian federal government has taken a public position. Tigray government wants to take a joint public position as well. But before that, it wants to hold talks. That is why talks started. Talks still ongoing. Longest meeting of the TPLF in years, I would say. A TPLF organ issued a statement yesterday. This organ is not known to me, by the way. It's a new one for me. TPLF was Central Control Commission Office. I'm not familiar with this name, by the way, with this wing. But this wing with the party stamp issued a statement yesterday rather. TPLF Central Control Commission Office says that the ongoing meeting has been extended. And this extension in duration of meeting is unlawful. Extension by Central Committee of the party in the duration of the meeting is not lawful, it's illegal. This wing is not known to me, so it's difficult for me to comment on what is behind this statement. But the statement indicates that meeting of the party, of the government, still continuing. And secondly, groups within the party maybe are not on board. They are criticizing that such a long meeting ongoing and it's being extended. Let's see. I think this is a very high stake meeting, by the way, because TPLF, interim government, Tigray military commanders, all are trying to reach a common ground to take a position about future of Tigray. Future of Tigray means future status of territories claimed by Tigray, future status of Tigray interim government, future status of TPLF, future status of IDPs, refugees. So several key decisions are expected after the conclusion of this meeting, but meeting still ongoing are reported. Thank you for watching.